Welcome in. Um, I'm here. I've got a bit of a something in my throat, but I've been drinking Copper State IPA by Husk Brewing. It's not only bold, but it's juicy and delicious. And I can recommend it if you have, throat cancer or whatever the hell I have. Um, it's soothing, very soothing. Um, I got, I got, I've got, these are gonna be vinyl finds. Kind of a weird mix. There are two more recent releases, but it's mostly stuff from before I went away, which I've mentioned too many times that I was away. I was in Minnesota for a hot minute. It was a cold minute, actually. It was very cold. It was like blizzard. I was delayed going. It was ridiculous. I was in Thailand, and then I had family stuff that went way longer than I had anticipated here in the U.S. But anyway, I did go to record stores in Bangkok. I did not buy anything. I was only in Bangkok but on kind of short stints, a couple short stints. I did go to a bunch of record stores. Not the two that I wanted to go to, but I was trying to go to one, and it was at a mall. And what I found was, well, working my way up the mall, I kept finding more and more shops that were selling vinyl. Started with just like a place with a few crates out, and then just kept getting more. Basically, as I progressed through the mall, it just became more and more vinyl, or just high-end audio or audio in general. And on one floor where the store I was going to was, it was unbelievable. It was one store after another. It was more than I just didn't have time for it, and it was very overwhelming. It was, I don't know. It's hard to look for these kinds of things online, especially if they're only if their website, if they have a website, it's only in Thai. It's very difficult. But on the top floor of this mall, it was some really high-end record stores, like especially considering where I was. We're talking like where there was tons of records for $200 or more. There was tons of Japanese pressing, especially jazz, but also rock and other stuff. One store was incredible. Just had, the problem with it is that everything was so broken down. Like they had certain eras of prog broken out. It was just too broke. It was too hard to find stuff unless you were going to look through the whole store, in my opinion. But they had lots of good stuff. But I was only really looking for certain types of things, and I didn't find them in my limited kind of haphazard pass through this place. I didn't even go to every store that was in this small location that I was at. But I've talked too much about this already. Anyway, things I was looking for I couldn't find, and I know that at the stores, because I was there when I landed, it was Thai New Year. A lot of stores are closed. It's like a mass. It's really a shit show. It's like this huge water battle in the streets. So a lot of stores close. And then some of the stores are just closed every week on Monday and Tuesday. It just doesn't make any sense. Anyway, this is a weird mix of vinyl finds. I'm not going to do needle drops, maybe on the 2 new releases or recent releases. We'll see what happens. So I don't know. A couple months ago, I went to a store locally here. It was clear that somebody had dropped off a ton of, or sold a ton of like 60s bubblegum stuff. A lot of like crazy comps with the Kmart sticker still on it. So I felt like I had to buy something. I don't know. I didn't really need to. What about this? Cherry People. It's a really nice, like, the jacket is textured. It's nice. This is from 1968. Has Hunky Meadows, who I guess, well, he was in Angel. Is that glam band? So I guess this is, I think it's generous to call this psych at all, but bubblegum, psych pop, bubblegum pop. It's mostly covers. I think they almost had a hit with the Left Bank song and Suddenly, which I'm pretty sure I've heard before. The Left Bank version's way better. And this, I've only listened to this once, but I'm not sure that I really care for it that much. There are some good songs for sure, but overall it's not very good, in my opinion. It's on Heritage, and I think this is an original pressing. It's got a punch hole. Same store, same day. This is on a back wall or something. It was reasonably priced. This is Jane 3, so this is on Brain. So I bought it because it's on Brain. I've seen it before. I've seen people show it on other videos before. I think that other people might have liked this more than I did. I don't particularly care for this. I guess on earlier albums of theirs, there's more keyboard, which isn't necessarily going to be something that I like, but I feel like it maybe would have been a little more interesting. This has dual guitar. A couple of the songs are pretty cool, but overall, not super into it. I like the cover more than I like the music. Again, it is on Brain, on that Brain label. In the comments a while back, Chris at Vinyl Transmission had pointed out that this album was cheap on Amazon and that he recommended it, and so I got it. It's Francois Hardy. The album is called La Question. I can't speak French. This is from 1971. I believe this is one of her more highly regarded solo records. Kind of a transitional thing, maybe from a little more from mainstream to maybe a little more interesting, depending on your point of view. It's a very good record. Kind of gotta like this kind of thing. I guess if you don't like this kind of thing, maybe not so much. This is on Parlophone. It's an EU pressing. Pressing's good. Super cheap. Kind of in the same vein, I picked up something by, she's actually an American singer, but I think she spent a lot of time in France, and so she speaks French, sings French. But in the 90s, I kind of had some of her stuff, and she was on some compilations that I have still on CD. But this is just a I think this is an EP. It's 5 songs. It's April, March. Sometimes when I stretch. It's on Sympathy for the recording or the record industry. So this is from 2003. So some of the songs she sings in French. It has it's kind of a collaboration with Bertrand Bergelat, who is French. He's kind of a French producer, and so it has that sound. I guess if you know him. I feel like this is a modern take in some regards to what 60s, 70s French pop. So it has kind of a Europop sound, and then especially with Bertrand Bergelat, it's a little bit dancey at times. I don't know, maybe I'll play it. We'll see. Maybe I'll stick in a sample. I am losing my voice. That's what the label looks like. It doesn't matter. Next one. I wasn't gonna buy this, but I saw it used. I actually found this more recently used. It's the Dennis Wilson. What is this? Bamboo, the Caribou Sessions. This was going to be. People know this. This is going to be the follow-up to Pacific Ocean Blue, or these sessions were to be the follow-up to that. I think it was widely bootlegged, and then was much later released on maybe like a deluxe edition of Pacific Ocean Blue, and then at one record store day, possibly 2 years ago, or maybe last year. I think it was 2 years ago. This was released. So it's a double LP. Comes on like green marble vinyl, and it's good. Next is something I just never had on vinyl. I've had it on CD for a long time. Probably had 2 copies on CD. But it was in the please buy me, or how low do I have to mark this for you to buy me section. And it's the 1989 album by the Stone Roses. Self-titled. People know this. This is in a gatefold. It's a double LP. It's just the original UK album. Yeah, but it's spread out over 2 LPs, 33 RPM. It's just, it needs to breathe a little more, is probably what they're thinking. It's on Modern Classical Recordings, which is, Light in the Attic. It's a very nice jacket. The pressing is decent. That's one of these things. Does that do anything for you? It does almost nothing for me. Fake Obi. This is another just kind of something I didn't have on vinyl. Slow Dive, Just for a Day. This is their debut LP. It was originally on Creation, came out in 1991. This is just the music on vinyl reissue of it on black vinyl. Next is a new release, or 2019 release. I guess it's somewhat experimental. Dream pop. The artist is I don't know if you're gonna be able to see this. Yeah, it's Wise Blood. The album is called Titanic Rising. I got to get this. The shrink has the track listing like on a sticker. This is a sticker. This is a sticker, but I can't stand this. So Wise Blood is female artist Natalie I don't know which one's it's the front. Natalie Merring. It's their 4th LP. It's very good. Some songs are very accessible pop songs, and then some of it is almost avant-garde, like drifting dream pop type stuff. I don't have the song titles. You know, like the songs Andromeda and Everyday, like those songs, they're more accessible. They almost, like you almost hear a little bit of maybe Amy Mann, I guess. Like that kind of came to mind when I was listening to it. But it's really good. Now I have to deal with this shrink wrap. Is this the inner sleeve? And because this is the big time loser edition, it's on like this color vinyl. So I don't know if I'm saying enough about this. It is a bit experimental in places. The content is fairly, it's subversive. The lyrics, catchy. I don't know. It's good. So Sub Pop, obviously, because it's loser edition. Last one is another new release. This is she's from Perth, Australia. I guess she lived in Wales for when she was growing up, but she was born in Perth and now lives in Perth yet again. This is Stella Donnelly, Beware of the Dogs. Sleeve. It's their debut LP. I guess I would say that it's kind of indie rock, indie pop, chamber pop. It's basically, sorry, this one has the shrink inside the sleeve. It basically is songs about assholes or dicks. If you excuse my language. I mean, we're far into this video now. We're all friends here at this point. The lyrics are very blunt, very like dark, adult in nature. Think of vibrators and dicks. Song called Old Man, and kind of use your imagination. Really well-written songs. I would say that the arrangements don't always do it for me, but it's good, and she's clearly very talented. This is some sort of I don't know. I think this is probably the way they all are. Green. Stella Donnelly. So, yeah. That's all I'm going to do for you here today. Next video is going to be Obscure 90s by No Demand, but I'm going to do it, I think. And I had some jazz stuff. I feel like I should do that separately. I'll either do it separately or I'll do it in the one after the next one. So, thanks for stopping out. Appreciate the effort as always. I'll talk to you next time.